How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Q&A. Today we're joined with Mod Matt K.
Alright.
Mod Kieran.
Hello.
Mod West.
Hello.
Mod Ed.
Hello.
Mod Ash.
Hello.
And myself, Mod Archie. Today we have a whole bunch of questions. We're also going to go through and show you a sneak peek of the Pyromancer outfit to come with the Winter Todd, which is scheduled to come live next week. Yes?
Spoiler alert. That's the plan.
That's the plan. We said that last week, so I would assume we didn't change that.
Well, it still needs to be finished and tested.
All right, let's do this then. First question, SK Dudeman says, could the creatures in the Catacombs drop shard and totem pieces at an increased rate if you're on a Slayer task?
That's a nice way of doing it.
Sounds reasonable to me.
He didn't indicate how increased, did he? Or her?
A little bit. Well, his name's SK Dudeman.
Yeah, it's also worth pointing out that the superior creatures that you kill in there will always drop a totem piece as well.
Has Bodhi rated us? Has he finished his stream? Wouldn't have thought so. Thought he still had a little bit of time.
Maybe he's coming back later.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, also last week we asked if we can make them a little bit bigger so they appear on the ground, more visible.
That seems reasonable.
Cool.
I'm not very good at click zones myself, but we have artists.
Every time we failed with one, it's a nuisance, isn't it?
Just a bit.
That glory in the POH.
We've all been
That
at
was
the
a
glory in the
nightmare.
POH. I made it bigger width-wise. I think you had to make it taller.
Yeah.
Of course, one of the problems we've got with click zones is that if you've got a fairly wide monitor, right, or your screen's stretched across your monitor, the further you get from the middle of the screen, the less accurate the click zones will be, because whoever helped prepare most of the resizable engine code for us in the first place didn't quite update it enough to handle the skewing you get at the sides of a wide screen. So until the engine team's got a chance to go digging right into the core of click zone code in the engine, we have the problem that the wider your screen gets, the more likely you are to think the click zones are a bit off. So if you do find that that's a problem for you, maybe you can rotate the camera so that things are nearer to the middle of your screen, and or go near them, and you may find the click zones a little easy to handle at that point. It's unfortunate, but yeah, that's how it is.
I just realized they weren't referring to Bodhi, they're referring to Ed.
Were they? Oh,
Ed,
okay.
there you go.
They have noticed my hair colour. It's taken them a couple of months, they've realised.
All right, another one from
purple.
No.
SK Dudeman here. Can we please pull attaching the Artie cloak forward to the max cape? Again, we asked this, but it's been a long time, so I'm asking it again.
Why wouldn't we?
The more times we make combined items, the more versions of the max cape there are. And that means that whenever we do anything else to the max cape, that means more things need code plugging into them. Which, of course, we can do, but it's getting pretty unwieldy with the number we've already got. Adding more is just creating a lot more maintenance work whenever the players ask for things, and making it more likely that we'll have to say no or take a lot more time to get something delivered if the players ask for more in future. It's like why we didn't do, a lot more cosmetic recolors of a few existing things. Zora's items are a good example. They often ask for mutagens to be used on more of the Zora stuff. And the reason we've not gone there is quite simply that there's a lot of code on those items already. If we do cosmetic recolors of them now and the players then ask for a different upgrade that involves all the recolors needing to get better, then that multiplies the number of items by quite a lot of forms. And firstly, increases the amount of code involved that is therefore more prone to going wrong. And secondly, means that we're more likely to end up saying, actually, we just can't offer that now, we'll have to get back to you in a few months. So by doing a cosmetic update, we suddenly lose the ability to do a useful update further down the line. So we take it easy when the players say, can we have a cosmetic thing? Now, the combined Ardoin max cape would not be a purely cosmetic thing, it would actually have the benefits of the Ardoin diary, presumably.
Right.
So I'm more open to that one, especially as they're not so likely to come back to us saying they need an upgrade to max capes that turns all the existing variants into some further sort. But I don't want to end up in the place where RS3 is, where there's like 200 types of Slayer helm. Just because you can combine this, and this and this in different combinations, and then upgrade it and then repaint it. And all those variants exist, and they can't do much with the Slayer helm so easily anymore.
We have to have the cape back in POH now, do we? as well? Or is that
Oh,
just
that
the
would be a
max cape?
problem. I think
Or does it have
No,
to-
they made one for all of them in the end.
Yeah.
Just 3 colours though.
I think we can handle that.
Yeah.
It doesn't multiply up with it so much.
There's your answer.
Okay. I actually tend to agree with Ash there. I think we probably get 1 or 2 very popular questions a week asking for recolors on several different items in the game, different armor pieces, weapons, etc. If we were to say yes to all of those, it would indeed be Rainbowscape.
One of the other problems is
It'd be nice and diverse at least.
with the max cape, like the reason we originally went with Fire Cape, Avas, and the God Capes is obviously because they're the best in slot for the 3 different styles. Now, if we ever release a new best in slot cape, we're going to end up with having to produce another one on top of that, and because obviously players will want it, and so we can't really get rid of the Fire Cape one either. So it sort of blows it up. In 20 years' time, we might have 50 max cape variants.
That's
And
very
it's
true.
an issue.
Yes, the question becomes, is maintaining that many kind of max capes the best way we can be spending the dev time, given that they might have asked for something else as well?
Indeed.
Okay. Ed Hicks says, can the delay on using the player-owned house pools be removed on non-player versus player worlds? It's annoying. This was done today. I knew that. Don't worry.
Well, sort of. It wasn't about which world you're on, it was about whether the combat you've been in recently is PvP or PvM.
Oh, okay.
So if you're doing PvP on any world, then after combat, you can't go drinking from that pool straight
Yep.
away, so you can't just rush straight back in again, or try and set up a loop where you drink and somebody specs you and you both drink all the time so that they can keep specking you and having all the XP. Because that hasn't gone down so well in the past when it's been done in battlefields.
Yeah. It's a bit frustrating because obviously the standard player would use it. They've died, they want to get their spec back, and they can tell you back, and it's all fine. But
Yeah.
in the way it was there before this update, players were telling their fill up with spec, go back to the wilderness spec, and just repeat and repeat and repeat just to abuse it. And
Well, the delay
difficult.
that was there before for PvP, I think, is about the same. The delay that was there for if you've been fighting monsters should no longer be an issue for you. Of course, it takes like 3 seconds to load a house, 2.5 going on 3 seconds. So a few seconds after combat isn't quite as long as it could have been.
yeah,
Husky says, can 99 Capes see a rework? Some of their rewards are very underwhelming.
Which ones?
I think he was talking about Herblore in specific. What is a response? We just give that, what, a pestle and mortar, right?
Yeah, I can see they might want something
Yeah,
that isn't
Benefit,
that.
fantastic benefit there.
Construction had a request in the other day for having it teleport you to your house portal unlimited times per day, the player said.
it's currently teleports at any house portal, but it's limited. So I mean, we're more than open to changing some of these perks, but
I mean, I can see that if
Suggest
you've got
what?
99 construction but didn't have 99 prayer,
Yeah.
and you were going to your house portal quite rapidly all day long, that would be quite
Yeah.
powerful.
I'm sure there's a few circumstances that would just accelerate the experience of things. Obviously, prayer.
if it was infinite, it's going to hurt the usability of the redirect scrolls as well. Having it limited means there is still a use for them because you can only do it so many times.
The nice
Plus-
thing that.
Mhm.
Sorry, go ahead.
While it may not matter a bit less once people have got to 99, in the conceivable event there's 200 mil capes knocking about in the future, that should still mean something.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about these streams is we've already asked the question, which means there's already suggestions on Reddit. Very complex and detailed pictures going through what they'd like upgraded. So there you go. We'll give those a look. Next question. Vomit says, can we see a bounty hunter store rework? Now he suggested items that could only be used in the wilderness on Bounty Hunter World. So Bounty Hunter specific rewards that could only be used there.
I think it's a case of what, though. I mean, I'd be open to the idea in general, but it's about what.
I
Chaos.
would
All these
imagine a
items.
weapon.
Well, that D-claws.
Yes, exactly.
The divine shield.
I mean, that's the question, because it obviously affects the balancing of PvP massively.
Right.
Generally, that's where players are most concerned about items we add in.
Perhaps if they're looking for a place to run around with more powerful weapons than they've ever seen elsewhere, last man standing.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a nicer place to test this stuff.
Or clambles.
Again, if you have any interesting ideas, we'll definitely give them a look. But please don't say stuff like Karasi. Chat's already saying Karasi. Instant trigger. My name is Mo says, can we see a warning on release all placeholders?
It's a sensible thing to do. I guess you don't want to do it and accidentally do you?
Well, that's why we put it on a separate screen altogether, so that when you're wandering around your bank, the button ain't there. You have to actually switch to the options menu, and there aren't that many reasons to go to that menu.
Yeah.
We can turn it into a right click. That would be fairly straightforward, actually, so that rather than needing to take your bank away, give you a warning message, then bring the bank back again, hopefully in the same state you left it, which we're not actually very good at, because a lot of code runs when you close the bank. Making it a right click button so that you can't accidentally left click it would hopefully make that less likely.
Okay.
Makes sense, wouldn't it?
Next question. Olympos says, can you make leaving Nightmare Zone within 30 seconds of starting a dream not take away any coins from your coffer in case you've forgotten something and need to run to the bank and back?
Cheap ass that.
That happens so much that we
Yes.
always forget like a spec whip or like prayer.
I assume the money's taken on going in, isn't it? So
It's taking the moment you drink from that vial.
You'd be surprised how many people are about to say yes.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
That being
but-
said, they're saying no right now.
Well, I
So.
can't see it doing a huge amount of harm. It's the same amount of money going. We just have to rework Nightmare Zone so that it goes at a different time. And of course, we have to make sure that the amount of money that goes is correct.
yeah.
And that you've still got the money in there and haven't found a way of getting it out while you're
Yes.
waiting.
It sounds a bit scary to try and achieve.
That's the first thing that goes through my mind is, it is somebody forgetting and making a mistake. I have no problem with them getting it back. But what worries me a bit more is that what are people going to do in that 30 seconds, which we haven't thought of to try and do something bad they shouldn't do?
Well, apparently they're going to look through their inventory in a way that they didn't do before they clicked on the vial. And apparently that's more effective if they're finding the problem at that point.
Yeah.
All right, that's the resounding no. Moving on. Guy says, any possibility we can make Onyx bolts more usable? So he's got a couple suggestions here. Significantly reduce break rate, guaranteed hit on special, upgrade to Ava's device to prevent them from dropping to the floor. So the reasoning for this is because they're really only used for alching, which is true, they're at alch rate, and diamond bolts are better in most situations.
It's an issue because obviously their alch price is so high that it makes them very, very unusable for actual use and ranging. Do you know if we can have different drop rates on different bolts?
If we program it, I merged all the ammo dropping code a while back, so if we want to program
We
anything like
can
that,
pull
it'll
that
be
off.
relatively easy to do.
Awesome. I'd certainly be open to it. I mean, do we want to make Onyx bolts useful? Their effect is pretty good.
And
Their
all the,
effect's okay, actually, yeah.
all the talk we've ever had about Onyx sinks, would we be having that conversation about diamonds if we did it?
I would doubt this would devalue diamond bolts.
I mean, I would still want to leave them as being expensive. That's for sure.
That's the thing, is it's the price, really. It's that they are good, and in fact, I'm not here, I'll use them over dragon bolts, because everybody's anti-firing anyways, but they're just so expensive.
Maybe the Onyx bolts could be solved with that thing we're going to talk about at Runefest.
Unfamiliar which thing you're talking about.
The thing
but
you're
I'll-
going to talk
I'll
about at
figure it
Runefest.
out. Thing I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Oh,
Thing.
That
okay.
thing.
yeah. Don't forget Runefest, 17th September. Which camera are we on? 17th
Yeah, we
September.
could think of something there.
Tying quite nicely.
Oh,
Can't
they're
watch it.
curious now. Ooh.
Yeah,
What could it be?
2 p.m. BST. We'll find out everything we're doing in the next 12 months.
And we're still
Leaked.
selling, we're still,
17th September.
where can you find tickets to this event? Matt?
I have absolutely no idea. Where are the tickets?
It's
RuneScape.com and then
Yeah.
something on the page.
It's runescape.com/runefest.
Is it? There you
These
go.
are all terrible sellouts.
5 tickets, yes.
Pretty good.
Come and see us.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that's not a promo vid for tomorrow. I don't know what it is.
Ed, you're going to be at Runefest as well, aren't you?
I'm going to be at Runefest, yeah. That's going
We're gonna have
to
a
bring
picture
loads of people in.
Of Boaty next
Everyone's
to
going to come just to
Yeah,
see
me-
proof that I'm not actually boaty.
Boaty is at Runefest, confirmed.
Buddy
Both
is at
of them.
RuneFest.
Both boaties.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go
We
to
should
the
do
next
a
question.
competition. We should
No.
sit next to each other and get players to drink. That sort of thing where they have to drink sort of different types of Coke.
Who wants to drink these?
and sort of have to guess which one's Pepsi and which one's Coca-Cola. All right, you could have the two sitting together and have to guess which one's Boaty and which one's Ed.
By what? Drinking them?
By just looking at them going,
I don't know what either of them taste like.
anyway,
I'm
carry
not,
on.
I'm not
Sorry, Chris.
consenting to this.
Of course, you won't actually work for us at the time either, so we can't order you to.
Hess says, can we have the ability to use teleports from a cape mounted in our achievement gallery?
We can put ops on it, same as the cape has, manually, but we can do it. There is a jewellery box right there, but yeah, I've got no problem with this.
It's a bit of effort, but
It
I've
also
no
means
reason
your
not to.
guests get access to a nice teleport thing that the host otherwise would have had.
Yeah,
I'm cool with it. Pardon me.
that'd be fine.
Okay.
You drink this much tea, it happens.
S says, after we die in Last Man Standing, can we have the ability to spectate the rest of the match?
I mean, that would be nice because I think people will want to see how it went, especially if they're sort of the last 5 or so.
Yeah,
want to see who
exactly.
wins. I think that would be quite a cool thing to be able
So
to do.
my immediate concern with this is I have a friend who's in the top 5,
Yeah.
and I'm now messaging him saying, oh, there's a guy over here, he looks pretty weak, go over here, kill this guy. You know, and we need to avoid that. So maybe if we could remove the messaging while they're in the spectator mode.
Yeah, but if you're with a friend, they can still contact you over Skype or
Sure.
whatever they're using. It sounds great in principle, but I think that's a big issue.
It's like adding in viewing orbs, really. It's just risky.
Jed was doing some rewriting already to support there being a JMod spectator. Of course, the thing about it being a JMod spectator is that as a rule, we can trust they're not going to, I don't know, leak everyone's positions except as part of an actual shoutcasting commentary. At which point it's official.
Yeah.
You'd hope.
Leaking.
Yeah, I've seen Dead Man seasonal tournaments. So Jed's code seems to handle the idea at least.
Speaking of which, there is going to be a Last Man Standing tournament at RuneFest, which again you can buy tickets for. That's what we're talking about. We're going to have a JMod spectator tool so we can hop in there and watch the best players after they've battled throughout the day, and then we'll have the top 20 going at it for a really awesome prize.
Yes, so I think 4:45 the tournament starts.
Yeah.
Tune in, watch it. If you're there, take part in it. There'll be an area set up for a tournament area, tournament zone, where you can go and take part in it. And the winner is going to get a nice big trophy that I haven't got yet because they haven't sent it to me. It's like this big and it looks really awesome.
Yeah.
So.
All right, next question. X Mega Man says, can you buff Nardah healing statue? Let it boost hit points upwards, similar to Brew's, as well as heal venom.
How many times have we buffed this thing?
Not since the pools came out,
Yeah.
and they were the thing that last devalued
That's
it.
true.
Since pools, everybody's asking for this to be buffed, pretty much.
Yeah, the suggestions that have done best so far that I can see are hit points over the usual max, or a special attack restore, which I think it currently has not been doing.
Yeah.
This, of course, could be introduced as a diary buff to it, rather than doing it for just anyone who passes through the town. So that would seem reasonable.
I think that sounds reasonable.
Wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like that on the next poll.
Okay.
It's already got all the restrictions in place for PvP worlds, doesn't it? So.
Also, not related to the statue, but relating to Nardah, I've been working on that NPC that crushes your stuff with a pestle and mortar for you, so that rather than having to do all your crushing manually, you just pay this dude and he crushes a whole lot, including banknotes. I haven't got that bit of code done yet, but it's coming. Anyway, I figured the herbalist's shop seemed an appropriate place for it, which means more uses for going to Nardah, because, you know, ever since we've got Barter Bob in the Grand Exchange doing quite a lot of the decanting work, Nardah's not been quite as useful as it might otherwise have been.
I think that makes sense.
All right. Saber Katana says, can we finish off the God Brews? A few ideas here. The Bando's Brew would be the same as the Zamorak Brew, but switch attack with strength. I think that's cool. Armadillo Brew raises range, but damages your hit points, as well as lowering your other offensive and defensive stats. Zeros Brew, same thing, raises magic, but lowers your other offensive and defensive stats.
I actually really like this.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah,
It's offering the niche that you get a bigger boost, but you lose your stats and the others. I like that.
The only negative I can think of is this devalues the other potions.
They seem to have thought of some reasons not to.
Yes, tell us the reasons. These reasons.
Okay, maybe not only negative. We didn't say what levels. Actually, you know
Well,
what?
that'd
We're
be the
saying
problem.
matching Zammy Brew, that brings it to what, 119? That's 119 strength will provide new max hits, I guess.
Okay.
Assuming this is similar to a super range potion, once you've super restored, and a super magic potion, once you've super restored, those could be very good as well, but yeah.
A lot of people are saying that it's dead.
It's dead. It's not if we make it go to 200 range.
It's not been made yet. How is it dead?
Dead on arrival.
Stillborn.
That's an interesting idea. I think if we had a lot of balancing there and decided where it wanted to come from, unless we just wanted to say, you know, 90 herblore, go to town. Yeah, all right. Next question. Robustar Skiller says, can we have the ability to have high alch tablets as well as telegrab tablets? Very useful for places like the Sire, DKs, and telegrab could be useful, for example, at Venenatis. You don't have to enter multi to grab
That
your
send a
loot.
shiver down my back for. I
I
actually
don't
worry
know.
a lot. That does. I don't know
I think
why.
High Alch is one of the biggest benefits to be on the standard spellbook. And
That's true.
taking that away, I mean, the only one obviously that we might have one day is the ring. The high alch, the free high alch from the ring. But obviously that's limited daily if we ever do add that ability. But I mean, I think offering the ability to just permanently have a large stack of high alchs in your inventory, I don't like it.
Yeah, it worries me, that does.
Okay.
Telegram I'm less caring about.
For what it's worth, the found some code line around for trying where the developer who did POH actually tried to write a telegrab tablet. I'm not quite sure why he stopped, to be honest. It looked like it would have worked. Maybe he found a problem I don't know about.
I would love it personally. Asking for Mod Ed to speak, so I'll give you this next question. Let's see, what is the next question?
What
Serious
products are you using for hair?
Australian servers update.
I don't have one.
However, I do, so that's good. Because the camera
Well,
suddenly
that was
changed.
good.
Because I asked Chris to put it in because to talk about. So I had a chat with the server people this morning to find out what was going on.
It's a job tail.
Yeah, server people, yeah. And where we are at the moment, the whole thing about servers is they're an incredibly complicated thing to do. It's not a straightforward thing of let's lob a load of servers in Australia and make it work. We've got to get a whole
It's got to have kangaroo protection, tarantula protection.
It's got to have a whole infrastructure put in there to make it work. And then when we make the infrastructure, we don't know if that infrastructure is actually going to work because the way that Australia and that part of the world set up for the internet. So we've made that infrastructure. It's going in. It seems to be working, which is good. We now need to put a whole load of stuff back into Australia data center to make sure that the old school servers can work properly there, and then we can put the old school servers in. So the first part is done, which is all this stuff has gone in there to make it work, make it better. We're monitoring that to make sure that is actually working. So one of the problems we've got is the data routes through the world where all the internet goes. If our data center isn't quite right, it might send it somewhere else that will make it just as bad for you. So it could send it to the other side of America, and then it will route into other places all over the place. So it is really quite complicated. So that we think is working. Hopefully that will continue to work, and we'll keep monitoring that to make sure. Then we'll put in the stuff so old school servers can go on there, and then we'll put the old school servers on. But that's not to say it's a case of we'll just do it, because it's not just us doing it. We've got us and several other multinational companies as well. And we've got to get all these different companies to talk to each other to do the right things at the right time so that they can get all the stuff in and working at that time. And it's not always a straightforward thing to do. For example, if the first company that needs to do something is late by a couple of days, it might knock out the schedule by several months because the other companies can't just move their schedule back by 2 days. They're like, well, we're busy for the next 3 weeks, so we've got to move it back by 3 weeks to do it then. And it's a massively complicated thing. So stuff's happening. More stuff's got to happen. That stuff will happen, but it's complicated and very difficult, and we're doing our best. And you have to be patient, I'm afraid. I know Australia's been really patient so far, and noisy as well. But we are working on it.
Just said take your time in the chat.
Yeah, we are working on it, but it's not a straightforward, simple thing to do. We're talking about dealing with the internet around the world, It's very, very complicated, and I didn't understand half of what he started talking to me about it. I'm like, just put it down so an idiot can understand it. That's what he did, so I could understand it. There you go. That's about it.
And of
Slightly
course,
better out than
Stuff and
mine.
things are happening.
Can we ask Ed a different question? I'd like to. I don't think that was a very good one for him.
It probably wasn't.
It's all right.
What
Mad
famous
back.
player do you look like?
I don't think I look like anyone really.
Fair enough.
Next question is actually a suggestion. There's an image with it. So Gothic Logic says, Fireplace transportation suggestion. This is like 5 months old. And
I remember
I
that.
can't say I remember bringing it up on a Q&A. I might have missed it. If I did, then I have a terrible memory. Sorry. All right, so it involves a new transportation method involving fireplaces and firelighters. An example would be using a firelighter on ashes, maybe. Spreading the ashes over the fireplace to teleport to a destination assigned to that color.
Where would they be? I mean, where are the
He
key
had
fireplaces
examples
in game?
provided, but I wasn't going to scroll through all these images. So.
When you step in the fireplace, do you have to type where you want to go?
And yes,
And if
clearly
you
it's
type where you
inspired
go
by
to the
Harry
wrong
Potter.
place.
Diagonally.
Exactly.
If you type that, you should just move diagonally back. Actually, I wrote some cheat codes like that for Jane wants to use.
What do you guys think?
It's a nice idea. I think it's been used in other things before, hasn't it? I think.
Like the thing where that picture's taken from.
It's Harry Potter.
Is it Harry Potter? I didn't I must admit, I've never seen Harry Potter. Never seen the
you've
films.
not seen
I've never
Harry
read
Potter?
the book. I read the first couple of chapters.
I'm
of the
more
first
English
book
than
and
you are at this
couldn't
point.
do it.
It's got fireplaces which
Yeah.
take people places.
I think
They
it's
look
probably
like
the
that.
case.
yeah, they look like that. And if you
Yeah.
say it wrong, you get taken somewhere else
Nearby.
Wilderness.
nearby.
Yeah, no, it's a sensible thing. I wonder if we get sued, but you know,
That's
especially the
enough
fact it's got a
reason for
picture of
me.
Harry Potter up there as well. So that's my only worry. But there we go.
Alright.
Yeah.
Of course, it could work backwards. Like, if you've got a fireplace in your POH, then there could be a chance that other people might accidentally turn up by having typed the wrong thing.
Yeah, Nick will start and disappear off again. Be like the anti-Santa.
Your butler just nips through your fireplace for a while, comes back later.
Yeah. Well, butlers do like nipping out through your fairy rings.
Yes, which a lot of people think is a bug. It's not. It's not a bug. Stop reporting it, please.
It could be a
Stop
use, it could be
reporting
a use
it.
for fire making.
You know, every time you say don't report this as a bug, it encourages them to report it as a bug.
You know what? Are
Mod
there
Rock,
any?
would you like to look through the bug reports this week?
Are there any safe for work, very funny bug reports you've had recently? Now, Ed.
Safe for work. Most of the funny ones aren't safe for work.
I like the one about the massive bug in somebody's superior garden. They trimmed their topia into the shape of a Calphite queen. That is technically a massive bug.
That one's been a decade-long joke now, isn't it?
It's been around since the Calphite layer got launched, and somebody said they found a really big bug in
Calphite
it.
layer, found a
Yeah,
large
that
bug.
is
Can
certainly-
you sort that out?
Yeah, it's got 6 legs.
There's certainly somebody who's a father did actually probably send that in. I'd expect.
Was it you? Did you
It
send
wasn't
that
me,
in?
no, I've got beyond that level now. Much worse.
That's not nearly up to his standards. Let's go to the next question then. Tip Top says, have you considered adding a Grand Exchange to Zaya?
We did at the very beginning, didn't we?
We considered it,
talked
we
about
chose not to.
Yeah.
I don't think it would go down well. The G is a popular area, and I don't really want to take away from that.
Exactly. I think that's it. GE's iconic. Can't have another one.
A lot of the people who wanted the G in the first place were wanting it not just because of the facility of trading, but because of the experience of standing at the GE, having the interactions you get at the GE, muting them, and such like.
Yeah, having
Yeah,
a
that's
Although
pretty
we,
much
although
all
we did
there.
talk about having the second G on the roof with the board games.
Yeah, they like that. Though.
Yes.
All right. Ikarin says, will you be able to get the thieving pet from lockpicking regular chests like Durgashan, average, hard, rogue chest, paladin chest, etc.? And to follow up on that real quick, are there any of the new skilling pets that are not obtainable from any continent specific?
Chests you cannot get the thieving pet from. You get the thieving pet from pickpocketing, including blackjacking. You get them from all the stalls. You get them from the grand gold chests in Pyramidal Plunder, the ones you get the scepters from in the middle of the room. And then you get them from picking the fruit at each of the sorcerers' gardens.
Tithe Farm was that in the list?
Tithe Farm for farming is possible to get the farming pet from.
Wouldn't really know.
Farming basically covers everything you can grow.
Agility? Anything you can't get?
Agility is every single course, including rooftops. The rule is on the completion of the course, as long as you've actually completed the course.
Even the werewolf
Not
one.
shortcuts then.
Even the werewolf one.
The werewolf one, yeah, not skull ball.
What's the one I'm missing?
And then-
agility, thieving, farming.
Room crafting.
Runecrafting. Agility can also be gained from the Brimhaven ticket dispensers. And then runecrafting does include combination runes. I've seen that being asked quite a few times.
But the combination runes don't have their own coloured pet.
No, you get the pet for the colour of the altar that you are at.
Okay.
I rather like the idea that there's a stone pillar here. You search it for a piece of paper, you find a squirrel.
And somebody mentioned you picked this guy's pocket. Oh, and you found a raccoon in it.
Well, you're
No,
not
it's
funny any other pets, are you?
The raccoon saw
Maybe
you picking that
hamster.
guy's pocket and went, I like that, he's good.
Yeah, so that's what I
I'm
said
gonna
on
follow
Twitter.
him.
The
But I
raccoon was
think-
hiding in a nearby bush, watched you do this pickpocket, and was like, damn,
He's
what an
good.
amazing thief. And decided to run out quickly and start following you.
I think you pick like a chest and there's a raccoon in it. That just didn't seem very nice. Who's locking the raccoon in the chest? That's not right.
The thing about those chests is they're really quite stupid. Like you've got a chest and it's got a trap on it to stop people stealing from it. And okay, it's not very good, but hey, people are good at thieving. But then you steal the loot, and the next thing that happens is that a magical trap triggers that teleports you with the loot to a place of safety. Now, it's like, if you've got the technology to teleport people away from your house when they've been stealing from your stuff, firstly, maybe you've got technology to take the loot off them, or maybe make it happen before they get the loot. And secondly, you teleport them to a prison. What you don't do is teleport them to some
A
field
mild inconvenience.
just outside the town where they can walk off.
Hopefully whoever wrote that isn't watching this stream.
Sorry, Paul.
Okay.
What's your favourite pet, Connor?
I like the raccoon. They're my favourite.
I like the raccoon as well. I love the fact it's fat.
Yeah. I quite like the agility one as well. At first I wasn't too sure, but by the end of it, really
I think
enjoyed
the
it.
tail's really cool, and it's war cannon.
Yeah, I stuck it on the message of the week for that reason, along with the walking farming dude who looks quite cool.
Cheers.
Also,
Okay.
Modrock had been talking to me a lot about that farming creature and what you should see when you examine it, so it was on my mind.
Okay, everyone, spam in the chat what your favourite pet is.
People getting timed out for spam. Okay. I'm gonna jump to the next question because we're still relevant here. So, OSRS Caleb says, with the new scaling pets, what happens if someone is, say, doing agility with a pet already following them and they have a full inventory?
I guess they don't get the pet. That's what normally happens, isn't it?
Do they get a message saying they missed it, or?
No.
Do you know?
Someone do
I
it
don't
and find
recall.
out for
I
us.
believe you don't get it.
Oh
I
my
believe you
God.
don't get it. If
The
you've
amount
got
of
pet
people that
out
have been doing
and the
it.
full inventory, you do not get it.
Why
But
would you do agility with a full inventory?
I mean, if you have an
Ultimate
inventory of strawberry baskets, for example, baskets of strawberries, you can keep doing it at low health more and more.
But in general, I believe we do try to give you the pet before the material that you're
The amount of
going to
people that have been
obtain.
training agility accidentally with full inventory.
Most content does have an inventory check on it. Like for fishing, you'll click on it and you've got a full inventory, you can't fish. But if you've got one inventory space and you're going to get a fish, we try to give you the pet first, so that'll take the spot, and then the fish will just end up on the floor.
Yeah.
Because obviously you want the pet, you don't want. It's a lot more important than that raw herring you were fishing.
Same with woodcutting, where you probably did want the log to end up on the floor anyway.
Yeah. Obviously for agility, you're not really gaining items. It's just done on the end of a lap. But so if your inventory is full and you've already got a pet out, then yes,
What about
you will
having
not get it.
Hand members? Could you get random items from them, then, yeah?
True.
Ham members do have an inventory space check, and the pet offer is given before anything else. They check
so the
for
loot
one
would
item
fall on the
space.
floor, and the pet would get priority.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Glad we said this now, because if somebody had been, for whatever reason, training agility with all of his stuff in his inventory for months.
With another pet out, it's almost
Right.
If they're doing that, then they are possibly not helping themselves.
Trying not to get it. Okay. Next question. WazHD says, will you be able to gain experience in raids be it combat or gathering skills? And if so, can this be toggleable?
We were going to let you gain XP for doing things that are relevant to your skill, like combat things or fishing. We didn't intend it to be huge amounts of XP because some of the resources might be given relatively quickly. And we would not wish to turn raids into an infinite grind fest.
Why would we not give combat XP? Any other boss in the game does give combat XP.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not doing fishing, then you won't get fishing XP. If you're not doing any fighting, you won't get combat XP.
Yeah.
But if you want to go in there and participate fully in, gathering resources, bludgeoning your way through obstacles, killing creatures, then yes, you will be rewarded for doing so.
I'm pretty sure if you want to go in there and not take part in combat, your team probably wouldn't like it very much anyway.
You could be a really good resource gatherer. Got use for hunter for that, fishing for that. I ain't done yet.
Nope.
You got a question in the chat here, by the way, guys. If you have a question you want to ask, Modrock is gathering them for the end of the stream. So, Ring of Wealth to pick up Toggle 2.
Quite easy now. Maz has centralised all the item loot code.
I don't see why not. It fits.
Sure.
I don't know how it actually picks these things up. It's like it can't be a magnet.
Magic.
It's magic. You enchanted it.
Yeah, that
The
works.
wizard did it.
That's enough of that. Sure.
Magic doesn't explain anything.
Nope.
Never believe it's not so.
Yeah.
Squishing says, any thoughts on the difficulty of Crack the Clue?
Yeah, it's
It's
fine.
too easy.
Any thoughts on the difficulty? I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
It's fine. It's
I know
easy.
the answer. I worked it out.
Yeah.
We did launch it, right?
Has anybody else in this room, aside from Matt, confirmed it's real?
Well, Kieran knows.
I
He
could,
programmed it.
it's in there. And I know what you need to do. I don't know how you get to that solution from the clues, but we were discussing it earlier, and some of the stuff you're looking at is all sort of on the right path.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
that's not
you almost gave a hint.
almost got
That's about as hint as they posted
Someone
thousands
somewhere
of threads on
has got
subreddit,
close.
and some of them are on the right trail. A lot of them aren't.
Yeah, we can confirm categorically that sending envelopes of cash to the Dragon's office addressed to Matt does not help. Does not help.
Addressing
Is there
to me will.
Is there any time in specific we plan to reveal everything and say this is the truth? Like
I
RuneFest seems
don't know.
appropriate.
I don't know. I mean, not this year certainly. 'Cause
No?
I mean, the way I looked at it when we first came up with this idea, it was a case of we want to do something that's incredibly difficult and almost make it a myth within the game that there is this thing and no one solved it and it's always sitting there. And I'd be quite happy to see it in 12 months' time. People still haven't solved it, and be able to go out and still sit there and look at it. There's this thing, we know it's there, no one's found it yet. And if it's never solved, never found, that's absolutely fine with me as well, because that myth will always be there about it. And that was the whole premise behind creating it. And somebody somewhere will solve it at some point. I mean, looking through what the Crack the Clue people have done on Reddit, some of them are thinking in the right direction. They've got a bit further to go,
You're giving
but some
hope.
of them are thinking about it in the right direction, and I'm sure somebody will solve it one
They'll
day.
be doing Mythbusters in 2026. And they'll be going, did they really add a helmet to the game that no one could find?
What would be funny is if we then do a map update that happens to obscure the place where you need to go for it, and then don't realise. Like if we, I don't know, spawn a tree there for some future update.
Yeah, but no, it's not meant to be something that's going to be solved easily. It's not meant to be something which is going to be. I can't think of another word other than easy. Really, it's difficult. It's going to be hard. You guys are going to have to work for it, and if nobody solves it, that's absolutely fine. But just imagine that one person who does solve it, what they're going to feel and how they're going to. How famous they're
You're
going to
giving
be.
them so much hope. It's so
And
mean.
when that first person finds it and gets it, it's going to be a wonderful feeling for them, and that's what this is all about.
What if like one person just does all of it and then some guy comes along and does the last step?
This is what I'm expecting. Like somebody will be doing it
person
on
who works
stream,
out, yeah, they're
and they'll
streaming
work
it.
it out. They'll work it out. They've got a notepad. Oh, I've solved it. Start loading RuneScape, and somebody else is like dig.
Of course, now, if we upload a tree in an area and then take it away again, that will effectively confirm that we had to fix a bug where we just put a tree on the place where they had to dig.
So you're saying they have to dig?
Well, I'm saying that if we upload a tree and then take it away again, we should all go there. And they should check on all the trees all the time, just in case.
Okay, let's go to the next question then. Ryan says, can we see more redirection themes for our player-owned houses? Mod West?
Is there space?
There's space for one more very, very easily. There's space for as many more as we like with a bit of reworking beyond that. So, yeah, there's space.
Cool, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing another one.
Takes only about a dozen or so models, most of which are chapel stained glass windows with the wall kit saved around them.
What kind of theme would you want to offer them?
Well, there was a Halloween one last time, wasn't there? We
Yeah.
could have done like a Christmassy one.
Doesn't really look too terribly Halloween-y though. I mean,
Well, it's Death's
Death's
house.
house.
It looks pretty.
right? But yeah, it looks good.
The House of Death.
It's my favourite. It's my favourite house design.
It's got wallpaper. Mod Rock had an idea. I believe it was a crumbly castle. He's not
Castles are
nodding,
cool.
so
You can have that one.
Maybe I
Is this
imagine
your
it.
idea?
No.
All
I
right.
don't do aesthetics.
Talking wall kits.
Yeah.
Yeah, a dilapidated castle.
Ah, yep, he confirms dilapidated castle.
Sounds cool.
Castle sounds very cool. I like that.
So when I actually we'll talk about castles, I was away last week. I was in Wales and I went up a castle. And I tweeted out something saying, "This is the view from my office window." And I took a picture over the side of the castle because I was sat on the tallest tower of the castle. There's wind whipping around the top of it. It was very windy that day. Writing emails to the bosses at work, so I had to get something done. I thought that's quite cool. But anyway, so I took a picture over the side. That's my office this morning.
There you go.
Crystal wall kit. Elf-themed crystal walls that you can see through. That'll be good for the bedroom.
The bathroom if we had one.
The resident sleepers you bring, man.
We do very well for sewers in a game with no toilets.
Yeah.
All right.
Really one. There is one toilet.
Let's go to
to
the
the
next
toilet.
question. I think. Wakizashi says, "Can Verac's armor hit through demonic gorilla's prayer?"
Take a bit of reprogramming, but yes.
Ooh, that's a game changer.
Possibly
any-
enough that we pull that kind of thing, but
Yeah.
I could totally program it.
I don't think it's going to be better than switching, though. If it's only a 1 in 4 chance or 1 in 5 chance of doing it.
It may not be the most effective way of buffing Veracs.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Salva says, "Thoughts on scaling down the size of the skilling pets?" I think he said the farming one was too big.
The farming one's too
Yeah,
big.
It's a
what'd you think?
tree.
Has he not seen the golem? Smaller than that.
Yeah.
So you've not seen a tree?
It's smaller than that.
Is it smaller than that?
He's probably not seen a tree like that.
What do you
You do
think?
get little trees, don't you?
Saplings.
What are they called?
Bonsai
Chinese
trees.
ones.
No,
trees.
bonsai.
I really like the pets for the record. We showed them off in the community stream last night. You guys saw them. Awesome. Somebody said the squirrel was too big. It's called giant squirrel.
I don't know. I had a lot of
Yeah.
tweets and Reddit threads to go through.
Yeah, about those dwarves we've got coming up for the blast furnace, so those are also quite big.
They're
There's
great.
not a lot we can do about that.
All right. James says, "Can the proposed preserve prayer make it so that boosted stats don't decay at all?"
That sounds very, very powerful.
Could you say it's a bit slower, please? I missed some of that.
We're offering the preserve prayer, which makes it so that your boosted stats drain slower.
Oh
He's asking
my.
if they can just stop draining.
So if you happen to be trading in an area somewhere near an altar, then you can have them forever, effectively.
Yeah, just one sip of a super combat.
No.
Would it be an overhead for it?
I think that is a solid no. I mean, making it slower is reasonable. Making it completely stop is...
All right.
You can flick prayers, like... there'd be too much to gain out of that.
That's fair. James says, "With more items now soon coming to the game, will you increase bank space or what we can store into our player-owned house?"
We pretty much add everything into player-owned houses, don't we, when we add new items,
There's a
if they fit.
there's a few exceptions that we haven't done, and I think players would have appreciated being able to stick the blessings in there, even if they don't act like most of the stuff that goes in there. Also, I think the golden scimitar may be exempt for reasons. I don't know what reasons, but
Who
it
knows?
involves why you wouldn't stick a scimitar in your armor case. That actually might have been it, but the treasure chest could handle it fine. So
Yeah.
that will handle a few more things.
Did we ever do, and we may have done this already, did we ever do one for the treasure trail items? You need to do treasure trails. So things such as your
Oh, we have
bronze
hidey
and that.
holes now, so that
Yeah,
makes
it's
me
Okay,
come
yeah,
with
that's
it.
right, yeah. Okay. That's cool.
All right. Here's the big question of the stream, I think. Ian says, can you please revert PID to back to what it used to be, or allow it so that the max you can hit is more than your opponent's hit points? So as it stands,
that's the tick eating issue is what.
as it stands, whoever has PID in the fight, if you time it right, just before, if you have 16 HP and they hit you for a 16, you can eat just at the right time. You'll heal back up to 20. In theory, yes, you should have been dead, but you had PID, and it can be abused in that sense. So he's asking if he could just overhit that and it would carry on through, potentially KO him.
All three in, isn't it? Or do you know?
Well, making it not cap the hit at their current HP is actually quite straightforward.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure
That would
most
be the
of the
preferred
combat
option.
code has those caps in,
Manually. And if
I'm pretty
taking
sure
it
the
out-
engine command already handles it. When it runs, it does already lower it to the HP level, right?
Well, it's been done twice. The cap's been done twice. Firstly, at the time when the damage is calculated, it caps at the HP. Then, separately, when the Q runs to apply the damage and make the hit mark appear, it's capped again in case a hit health has gone down between the start of the Q and the time it runs. So, by taking out one of those, we'd get exactly what's described there. What it would do to them is another question entirely, but that would technically be easier than what's there now.
I think I split
Yeah,
So what happens with minus hit points then, I guess, is the issue.
Nah, it would just we keep the queue in for the checking the queue for when the damage arrives. It's like if I hit you and you've only got 5 hit points, then at the moment I'm capped to say that my max damage could only have been 5. Then a bit later when this is applied to you,
Gotcha, yeah.
your hit points might actually be higher by that point. Whereas instead you've got 5 hit points, but I've hit a 20. Then what's sent to you is the 20. But since at the time when the damage arrives, you've still only got 5, I only apply 5. This would probably give us no difficulty whatsoever.
That would be so nice.
It causes issues with, like, I mean, people have used this feature to get fire capes and that sort of thing.
Right.
We could obviously just take it out from PvP, but I think it'd be better to get rid of it altogether.
That's true, actually. We could have made it just change for PvP, but it would be very odd.
Yeah. So obviously there is some concerns with people actually using it to get fire capes, and now it would suddenly become impossible.
Yes.
What without prayer?
Without prayer, yeah.
Right. That's okay.
I mean, I'm not a fan of people being able to get fire capes like that,
Right.
personally.
It's really got a fair bit harder than it used to be when we made the fight cave not re-randomise itself safely every time you logged in and out.
Yeah.
People saying PvP only?
And there's a question about what it would do to XP on hit. The answer is whatever we want it to do.
Question.
I would be inclined to make the XP keep the existing behaviour, just because we could. But we could equally make it give the full XP for the amount of damage you rolled, even if it's not all going to get dealt.
So how realistic is this? You say it's quite straightforward. Is this something that we could have done by next week or
Yes.
month? Ooh, it's exciting.
Can we
If
do
you
a,
agree
should
to
we do
want it, then you can has it.
should we do a straw poll on leave it, remove it in PvP, remove it altogether? There's a fair amount of people spamming to just do it in PvP, so it'll be interesting to see what comes out in the straw poll.
Indeed.
All right, we're gonna get a straw poll in the chat for you guys regarding PID. In the meantime, let's go through a couple more questions. Just trying to find where we are here. James says, "Can you tell us a bit more about our new QA tester?"
If you tweet him at JagXTomH,
Yep.
is there an underscore in that?
Nope, I don't
Yeah,
believe
it's
so.
No
Tom H.
spaces.
Okay, no spaces, JagXTomH. Tweet him and he will tell you about himself.
I'm sure we'll have him on the stream in the next couple of weeks.
I believe he has divulged on Twitter today that he has 1 kneecap.
There's an interesting fact.
He still has 2 legs, though, before anyone gets any ideas.
Some of the things the players have decided to share back with him have been quite fascinating about what they've only got 1 of.
Ooh.
Happens.
All right. LV2, can Nightmare Zone overloads be pulled to work for all minigames?
Can be bold. I don't think it will pass, but you know, can be bold.
Perhaps if we were to pull a thing like that, we'd do it for specific mini games rather than just all that may ever exist in future.
Extremely hesitant with Last Man Standing.
Just a bit.
Castle Wars, Clan Wars, yeah.
Well, you know what we're like about being scared about touching Castle Wars. Clan Wars makes perfect sense, especially as they would almost certainly be able to toggle it with whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Raiding dungeons is the kind of place where we would be perfectly willing to do an overload potion that only worked in the raiding dungeon.
Yeah, I'd be more keen to you make it inside the dungeon and use it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you bringing the Nightmare Zone ones. That would be peculiar. But if you did it with herb lore in the dungeon with stuff you found in the dungeon, and then the effects turned off when you left the dungeon and the potion didn't work anywhere else, we can totally play with that.
Yeah, indeed.
There's a typo in the poll, in case we weren't aware. Well,
PvP Ollie.
We'll have the
Some sort of
results
skateboard
for that poll up momentarily. Let's see what you guys think about PID, PvP only, the majority, or both. So
That's interesting.
Well, at least good support in doing it.
yeah,
Oh, and 2% want it done in PVM only, apparently.
that's actually really nice because a good chunk of our community are not PKers or don't
Yeah,
even
I mean, there's
care
what,
about PID.
87% want the change.
Yeah, 87% would be happy with it being done in PvP.
It's good to see
41%.
the majority of you guys understand everything here, and yeah, I agree. I'm happy. Cool. All right,
Made
we've got a
us
few more
happy.
questions.
How do you all feel?
Well, one of them's now saying we should give the Abyssal Whip a stab option. Let's not do that.
If we get a minus 1,000
How
accuracy.
would you stab with it?
I'll show you later.
Oh dear.
But some of the weapons in game have these options for like crush and slash, and they're not made for it. And it looks ridiculous when you do the animation. It's funny.
Right. A few more questions. I'm going to save them for next week because I think we have to head over for the sneak peek of the week now.
Yep, can do.
Yeah, why not?
Exciting.
Matter of fact, while Mod West gets set up, I think we can probably get through a couple of these.
Oh, we could talk about something else as well.
Sure, if you want
Thing I
to.
wanted to talk about.
Rest
Tell
of
me
the sleeper
about
time.
this new interesting thing. I'm
This
very
new interesting
intrigued.
What
thing.
castle have you visited?
It's not a castle. This is a new game that within the last hour is on Steam. A game called RuneScape Idle Adventures. It is a mobile. It's not mobile. It's on PC to start with, isn't it? So it's a PC game where you effectively it's an idle game. We'll play the trailer at the end of the stream so you guys can see a bit of what it's like. But yeah, it's open and it's an open beta now, and we're really interested to actually find out what the old school guys think about it, what you guys think about it, because I've been playing it for a few weeks and it's a little bit of fun. So yeah, I'd like to see what you guys feel and think about it. So it's free. Log on there, have a go, see what you think, and please give some feedback on how you want it to go and what you think of it. But really quite cool to hear your feedback on it.
It's a beta at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, it's beta, some sort of beta.
Beta.
It's an
Beta.
open beta.
Well, the players do love a good beta.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's the sort of thing you pick up in your spare time.
Exactly.
Do a few actions, come back several hours later, do a few more actions, sort of thing. So
Yeah, it's all a bit of fun. It's been made with a team over in America that made Venture Capitalist. In Canada, aren't they?
believe it's Canada.
Yeah, made Venture Capitalist. It's been really quite fun working with them. So yeah, so give it a go and let us know what you think. We're really interested to see what the old school players think of it
And best
and
of all,
get your
as
feedback.
as it's an idle game, you can play it while playing old school.
Yes, you can play it while at work, in college.
All right.
Which he does.
So there you have
bad
it.
influence.
Yeah.
RSL Adventures open beta
Yeah.
on Steam, right?
On Steam, yeah. Head over to Steam and go pick yourself up a copy and give it a play. And please do let us know what you think. We're really interested to find out.
Well, let's head over to Mod West then with the sneak peek of the week and the new Pyromancer outfit.
Cool. Hi everyone, and welcome to the sneak peek of the week. So, the Pyromancer outfit. This will be the outfit that gives you 2.5 boost in fire making experience. So the outfit will be, I'll get it on first. So here's the hat, the body, the legs, and the boots. So with the outfit, I wanted to make it sure it looked good with pretty much the only other fire making the piece of equipment in the game, which is the fire making cape. So I'll put that on as well. So that's the trimmed version and the untrimmed version. As you can see, I've got the oranges and the yellows from the big crystal. Let's move around here. So I've got the oranges and the yellows from the cape. Ignore the bat. He's okay. Yeah. So I wanted to make it look a bit like mage armor, but not too much like mage armor. So it's more inclined with pyromancy than mage. But pyromancy is sort of a magic, so it'll be worn by the pyromancers in the area as well, so hence why it's magic armor. Well, magic based. So yeah, I'll just do a few zoom rounds of it. If anyone wants to give any feedback, either on Twitter or on Reddit, I'm willing to listen to a certain degree, of course. Not doing like a full remake, but it's definitely got to look something like this. Gloves? There is no gloves.
Yeah, they're asking why no gloves.
All
Is-
skilling outfits.
Still don't have gloves.
4 pieces.
Yeah.
Rogue isn't an
XP boosting outfit though, so it's not quite the same thing. All XP boosting skilling outfits only have 4 pieces.
There's some crimson gloves from Canifis that might suit quite nicely.
Yeah, good. There's lots of things. I think I was modelling it with the Clue Hunter gloves because that kind of sort of fits with the sort of theme of being.
Look really nicely with that helmet.
Oh yeah, the helmet would look great with it. Oh, what I didn't mention is I did base this off the Arcase Elder sort of mage robes, but I just scaled them so they fit on the base player. And I really do like the scarves they have on them.
I think it's attracting creatures because the way it glows like that.
Yes, so attracted to your bright colours.
That
It looks a giant
confirmed.
Gloves are right. No, that's not it, is it?
Beautiful leather gloves.
Leather gloves. I don't know what the gloves are called. Never mind. Anyway, yeah, so that's the Pyromancer outfit.
Do you want to give maybe a quick look at the camp?
The camp.
Do you want to keep that a secret?
Ooh,
Well,
spoiler.
it's still
alert.
not 100% complete yet.
Given that we hope
Okay.
that
So I just showed the path a little bit. So I did notice before.
Tease it.
yeah,
Sorry,
that's a
don't
little
show
bit.
too
nicely
much.
zoomed in.
So this is the path. It's really nice, isn't it?
path.
So yeah, before we came up here, I did look at a new post by Gentle Tractor, and I'm aware of his design of the Winter Todd. Obviously, I can't implement that as I've already built most of it, but I will take into account when I finish this and go on to the save redesign. So good. Should I just get a bit closer?
Spoilers.
Ooh, leaked.
Oh, you can see it on the minimap.
What is that? That's
Spoiler
a
alert.
different color up there. What's that?
Whoa.
Yeah, we'll go any further.
Confirmed. That's all you're getting. Look at that on the minimap.
That's right next to the spot we have to dig to
just-
get the helmet.
Oh my god. EOC confirmed.
Cool. So yeah, that's everything.
Beautiful.
I love that outfit. Looks really good. Yeah, I really like about that is I can't think of anything it really looks like in game, but it looks like it belongs in Old School. So, some difficulty there. That being said, a couple final notes. I think actually we have time for like the last 2 questions that I have, so why not? Erebus says, when is the blast furnace update going live?
Well, I've done the code for it. In fact, I've tweeted pictures of what it looked like when it was going wrong and spawning dwarfs left, right and centre, all waving shovels around, trying to shove coke into imaginary places. It kept the fuel up nicely, that's for sure.
When's it coming, Ed?
Before Runefest.
So within 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks.
Mod Rock reckons a couple of weeks.
Cool. Final question then. Hatter says, can we have the ability to share what kill count we received our pet at? So, obviously the idea here is people asking for an examine option on the other people's pets. What about something like the achievement gallery? We can show them how many boss kill counts we have.
They can look at box
that.
kill counts, right?
Yeah, but they can see the kill count as it is, but what they're asking for here is the kill count as it was when the pet spawned.
Which we don't store.
No, so it'd be a bit unfair to everyone who's ever got a pet.
You can type
Especially
it
on the
in,
first one.
what you think it was.
0. Some people do have 0 because some of the trackers were added after the pets.
Yes.
So,
Okay, well, that is today's Q&A. A couple final notes, guys. Just double check here. We did that. We have the 1 mil buy-in weekend. I'm really excited for this. Last man standing, 1 mil buy-in weekend. We're looking at September 10th and 11th. That is not this weekend, but the next weekend. So obviously the grand prize being 15 mil per game there. Very exciting stuff. Make sure you don't miss that if you want to play last man standing. I'm playing it. What was the final thing we wanted to mention? I think that was it. Runefest, really?
Yeah, Runefest, which I mentioned, Runefest, 17th September. If you can't be there, watch it. It will be streamed all the way through. 2 o'clock is when we're on to do the old school reveals for the next 12 months. 1 o'clock is when the streamer Q&A is. So we're going to have who's on the streamer Q&A, the streamer and video maker Q&A.
Yet to be decided. I've limited to only pick like 5 or 6 people, unfortunately. Even though we're bringing, in case you guys weren't aware, we're bringing like some of our top 15, 17 even, I think. Streamers and video makers here, so they're going to be at Jagex on the Thursday even. Maybe they'll have a sneak peek in the Q&A
Yeah, maybe,
for
yeah.
us here. And then, yeah, they're going to be at RuneFest, obviously, doing exciting stuff like the meet and greet and all that.
Yeah, that's cool. Be good. And the first Last Man Standing tournament, of course,
Yes.
which is on at 4:45 on the live stream. So please do tune in and see that. And hopefully we will see some good LMS action.
Yeah.
Shall we show them that trailer?
We shall show them that trailer now for the new Idle Adventure game. Remember, on Steam. Give it a go. Let us know what you think, please.